Water. It's one of the Earth's most precious resources. Some families fight for access every day. In honor of Earth Day, we're partnering with ABC News to bring you the power of water. Thanks for joining us. I'm Aaron Luna. Tonight we're highlighting what's being done to protect the hundreds of lakes and rivers across the inland Northwest and what's being done to protect the fish that call them home. One of those rivers is the Snake River, stretching more than 1,000 miles, once home to a thriving population of salmon and steelhead. Today, many of those populations going up against the threat of extinction, a situation environmental experts are calling dire. In a special report tonight, our Jordan Smith joins us from the Snake River with what the numbers are showing, what we can do to reverse these trends, and how long it would take.
Collectively, the salmon and steelhead populations that return to this river to lay eggs, just 10% from what they were just decades ago. It served as a world-class fishing location for generations. The Snake River becoming a mandatory experience for anglers and fishing enthusiasts across the globe.
I have a friend that comes from Switzerland every year and spends 15 days fishing for steelhead here because this is the nexus of where it really is amazing for summer run steelhead.
Josh Mills knows these waters well, but the river that once offered an abundance of salmon and steelhead, now nearly depleted of those coveted resources.
This is one of those situations where we're really hanging on to threads of what used to be.
The waters that once saw 1 million spring and summer Chinook return to lay eggs each year, now just a fraction of its former glory, as wildlife expert Jay Hesse can attest to.
Over the last 5 years, it's about 8,000. So 1 million historically, and we're about 8,000.
As a whole, the Columbia Basin, which includes the Snake River, sees 500,000 to 1 million salmon return each year. Waters that once saw 15 to 20 million during good years. A near majority of the returning salmon populations on the cusp of extinction. And here in the Snake River, 42% of spring and summer Chinook populations are facing quasi-extinction. That means 50 or fewer come back here every year to lay eggs. As for what's amplifying these issues, experts like Chris Donnelly with the Department of Fish and Wildlife point to climate change, harvesting, and the dams along the Snake River.
Well, hydropower, it's great, clean energy. It supports economics, so I'm not the one here to say whether we should or shouldn't have dams. However, we should understand the reality of what hydropower does, which it kills a tremendous number of out-migrating smolts.
The dams help slow water speed for farmers to transport goods and services like wheat along the river. But the mortality rate for fish is hard to ignore. According to the Nez Perce tribe, the survival rate of salmon after traveling between all 8 dams ends up only around 50%. Multiple salmon populations could blink into extinction just decades from now. And there's no overnight solution. The restoration process will take decades to fix. Each person that we spoke with acknowledging a compromise has to be reached.
We just can't do museum piece management and having a handful of fish coming back to the Snake Basin and saying that that's an adequate balance between all of the interests in the basin.
Otherwise, this tradition that our region has fallen in love with will soon reach an end.
It's one of those experiences that if you lose it, we'll never get it again.
On the Snake River, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.